All right, hey everybody, hope you guys are doing okay. I'm gonna do a couple problems from the second worksheet for this week. The volumes of prisms and cylinders. In the other videos I posted, I did notes on the regular polygons, and I did a couple examples from those. This is the second worksheet. So for these guys, the homework is numbers 1 through 13. I'm gonna do numbers 2 and number 4 for you here. Normally, we do the evens on your own. I do the odds for you. I think 2 and 4 are some of the more difficult ones. That's why I wanted to show you how to do those. So again, if you have the printer, I would print this out. If you don't have a printer, I kind of would draw the picture. It's kind of hard to draw. It took me 2 attempts to draw number 2 here. But basically, we're trying to find the volume of this thing. And basically, guys, the formula we want to know here is whenever a shape has 2 bases, as in 2 sides are exactly the same, that are parallel, we know the volume is always going to be whatever the area of the base is times the height of the shape. So for example, it's just whatever the base is times however tall it is. So in this shape, even though there's all these rectangles kind of on the sides around the shape, those aren't the bases. The 2 bases are the hexagons. There's a big hexagon up top and there's a hexagon underneath. So for the big B, that's the base of that's the area of the base of the shape. That's going to be a hexagon. Again, Ms. Derflinger, our department head, posted 3 videos on how to do this as well. I would be watching those before you're doing this. Okay, if you haven't watched those videos yet, I would stop this right now. I would watch those because she gives more of intuition on why this works. Here, I'm just kind of doing the example for you. So anyways, our volume is going to be big B times H. Big B is the area of the base. H is the height of the shape. And so over here, the base is a hexagon. So I'm going to write down big B equals hexagon. And you might say, okay, well, what's the area of a hexagon formula? Well, recall from the last video we did, I don't know area of a hexagon formula. It's kind of a difficult form. I don't want to know, there's all sorts of shapes. It's going to be too hard to know a form for every shape. I just want to use that 1/2 AP formula again. So the formula, so big B is a hexagon, the base is a hexagon, the area of a hexagon So this is the way I do these problems. Some teachers do them differently. It's fine. Again, the volume of the shape is whatever the area of the base is times the height of the shape. In this case, the base is a hexagon, and the area of a hexagon is 1/2 AP. That formula should be familiar to you. We did it in the last couple of videos I posted. Recall, A is the apothem, P is the perimeter. Looking at this shape right here, I see this 3.5 is the apothem. That's the distance from the center to the outside. It hits at a right angle, kind of tells me it's the midpoint. So that's the apothem. And perimeter is all the way around the shape. And here's what's a little confusing. They give me lots of different numbers. You might say, okay, which number do I use? I'm going to use this 4 because this 4 is sort of the length of the side of the hexagon. The 3 is the distance from one hexagon to the other. The 4 is sort of indicates the perimeter of the hexagon. Not the 4 in of itself when we add them all together. So there's 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. There's 6 sides. So 4 times 6 is 24. So the perimeter of the hexagon is 24. Again, the volume of any prism or cylinder is whatever the area of the base is times the height, the distance from one base to the other. In this case, the base is a hexagon. The area of a hexagon is 1/2 AP. A is the apothem, P is the perimeter. I'm just going to plug those in. So I'm going to have A equals 1/2 times 3.5 times 24. Half of 24 is 12. 12 times 3.5 is 42. And so that's the area of the base. So back to my formula. All right. So just for the third time, sorry to be redundant here, the base of this shape is a hexagon. The area of a hexagon is 1/2 AP. I found A, I calculated P, I plugged it all in, I got 42. 42 is the area of the base. To find the volume, to find how much, if you're going to fill this thing with water, to figure out how much water it would take to fill it up, you multiply the area of the base times the distance from one base to the other that we refer to as the height. In this case, those 2 hexagons are 3 feet apart, so the height is 3. And our final answer here, 42 times 3 is 126. And I'm going to say units cubed because we're in 3 dimensions here. Because again, 3 dimensions, volume is always 3D. Again, we were trying to fill this with water. A common example, trying to fill this with, sand or something. It's 3 dimensions. All right, so that's number 2 here, guys. One of the more difficult ones, I looked number 1, I looked number 3, those weren't too bad. 2 and 4 are a little bit harder. Let's do 4 before the time runs out on the video. And again, if you're a little confused now, guys, my department head posted 3 videos on this. Highly recommend watching them. She goes a little bit slower and a little bit more of why these formulas kind of work. For this one here, guys, this is number 4. Again, if you want to pause the video here, draw a picture. I have a time limit, so I kind of have to, you can just pause the video here. I'm not going to allow wait time. We're trying to find the volume of this shape. Same idea as before. Define the volume of anytime basically anytime it's got a flat top and a flat bottom, whether it's a cylinder or a prism, what have you, it's always whatever the area of the base is times the height. And when I say height, I mean the distance from one base to another base. So here, the base, what kind of shape is that? Well, it's got 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pentagon. So here, big B is a pentagon. And area of a pentagon, you might say, okay, what's the area of a pentagon formula? Same idea as before. Who knows? I know that if all the sides are the same, they tell me they're all the same, thankfully, the area of any shape is going to be 1/2 AP. Same formula we did in the first worksheet, same formula we did number 2, same formula from number 4 here. So again, our base is a pentagon. The area of any pentagon is 1/2 AP. A is the apothem. Hopefully by now you can see the apothem right there. So little a is 5.5. P is the perimeter. That's the distance around the pentagon. Well, if there are 5 sides and each side has a length of 8, 5 times 8 is 40. And I'm going to plug those in and solve for the base of the pentagon, of the pentagonal prism, I should say. So big B is, sorry, make weird noise. 1/2 times 5.5 times 40. I don't have a calculator. Half of 40 is 20. 20 times 5.5 is 110. So I got 110. That's the area of the base. Again, I'm using A here, but A and B, they're the same thing, right? B is the area of the pentagon. The area of the pentagon is this. They're meaning the exact same thing. It doesn't really matter which letter you use. The area of the pentagon is 110. Using the formula from the other worksheet to find the volume of the solid. You're going to figure out how much, if you're going to fill this thing with water, fill this thing with any liquid, any substance, the volume would be a 3-dimensional kind of unit. So it's going to be whatever the base is times the distance from one pentagon to the other pentagon. And you see right here, this 8 right there, that's the distance from the bottom pentagon to the upper pentagon. So that's going to be the height. So it's going to be volume is equal to 110 times the height, which is 880. I'm going to put units cubed. Okay, so those 2 examples here, guys. I'll post the work online as well. Again, the other ones looked a little bit easier. Like the bottoms of the shapes were either circles or rectangles or squares. Formulas we've done a ton. I know we haven't done as much on, pentagons and hexagons, etc. Though I'm going to say this is fair game. This 1/2 AP formula, at this point, if you've been doing your homework here, you should be okay here. But that's the idea here, guys. Again, if you haven't watched Mr. Durflinger's videos, please watch those. You find a way, guys. Just because it's a little bit tough doesn't mean it's a reason to quit, okay? Keep working hard. Again, if you're a little confused, fight through it. You can do this. All right, hope you guys are okay. Take care.